Happy Sunday. It is the 19th of July today. So today is the I believe it's the official sort of end of the Velosano weekend. And that's why I'm doing the stitch with me today. So yeah, this is going to be a stitch with me. I forgot to mention that bit. It's actually the second time I've recorded this little intro, so I can't tell if I'm repeating myself or not. Yep. So this is a Heaven and Earth Designs piece. So I pledged for VeloStitchers, so Velosano, I pledged to do 100 hours of stitching on this project. And this is the project here. So it is Bathtime, originally designed by Selena Fenech and charted by Michelle over at Heaven and Earth Designs. So it's 400 stitches wide by 565 high. So it's a regular size, regular colours. And I'm just doing this on I think it's an antique white Lugana 25 count. So I'm doing this 1/1 full cross. So yeah, so that's all about the projects. This is my 100th hour of stitching on this. So I'm going to get going. Now I have I use Pattern Keeper, so Pattern Keeper is on over here. I don't think you can actually see any of it, but even if you could, you can only see like a tiny little piece, so hopefully that's okay. And I also have some questions written down. Well, not written down, they're on my phone, like getting to know you sort of questions, but some of them sounded quite fun, so I thought, oh, I'll run through some of those with you all as well. So there we go. So we'll get started. So I use diagonal parking. My method in this one is in a 10 stitch sort of column as it goes down. I first sort of learned about that process by watching Brian over on VeloStitchers, and he did a couple of tutorials on how to how he does it, and he sort of does a video of a walkthrough, which helped quite a lot with that one. So, and yes, but I stick in my 10 stitch columns, but I sort of do a little bit of cross country, but just in those sort of blocks, just because I don't like threading and rethreading my needle too many times. I find it makes the sort of the end of the thread sort of fuzzy, going in and out of the needle too many times, and I don't really like using needle threaders. I keep dropping them, I get a bit tangled with my fingers, so I just don't use them. But yeah, so let's have a look at my sexy list of questions. What do we got? If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with all the extra time? Well, I think that one's a bit obvious. I would probably stitch. So I have 2 heids on the go at the minute, but I've probably got about, another 17 that I want to do. And I have like 20 whips and many other projects. I'm not entirely sure how many. But yeah, so I would stitch. If I didn't have to sleep, I would probably stitch. So, what is your favourite piece of clothing? I didn't actually read any of these questions before I started, so yeah, so you might have to wait a few pauses. My favourite piece of clothing. Actually, I think I know what that is. I think it's a cardigan, and it's kind of a beigey flecked knitted cardigan, not sort of hand knitted, it was bought, but it was my nan's. She passed away maybe 13, 14 years ago now, and I sort of kidnapped her cardigan, and yeah, and I've got it. It doesn't have any buttons left, the buttons have all fell off, but yeah, and it's, yeah, I suppose that could be my favourite. I sort of wear it over anything, and everything. It's one of those kind of big sort of oversized, you know, long sleeves and sort of covers your bum, sort of quite a long cardigan. So yeah, I'll go with that one. What hobby would you get into if time and money wasn't an issue? Well, it says get into, so I'm assuming it doesn't include any hobbies you already do. So what else would I like to learn to do? I think I'd like to learn to sort of sculpt, like pot, you know, do some pottery, sculpt some pots and bowls and things. I think that'd be quite fun. Something I looked into a while ago. My godmother is, she used to be a teacher, a pottery teacher, and she still sort of throws a few things now and again. So I suppose, yeah, I'd sort of get some stuff and see if I could get her to teach me. But yeah, I don't know. So I actually finished the last hour 99 doing a lot of the confetti, so I've got a couple of chunky bits to do now on this. I tend to, in my sections that I'm doing, I tend to pick the colours that don't have that many you know, crosses to be done and do those first. So I'll sort of do, you know, the odd ones first, because then all the ends are going to get covered up as I go along. But then it also means that when I come to do a colour that's covering a bigger area, it's quite nice to just go, you know, and fill it all in, which is quite nice and easy. What would your perfect room look like? That's the next question. Oh, it's a tricky one. Does it mean, like, it just says perfect room, so I suppose my perfect room would be a craft room, and it would have lots of nice storage, lots of efficient storage. And it would have all my wool, my knitting, my crochet, and then I'd have all my kits out and my projects, and I'd have all my finished projects framed and up on the walls, or finished and on the side and in bowls and things, you know, dough bowls. Yeah, it would have a nice comfy chair in the corner with my light, and I use a knot light, so that I've got over here hanging over me now. Oh, and of course I'd need, you know, a cat bed or something squishy for Coco to lie on. That would definitely be a must. Stop her lying on my lap. But yeah, oh, and there'd be a fireplace. I need an open fireplace. Somewhere nice and warm to curl up with. Yeah, that would be my perfect room. And maybe I'd go up the whole way and put a bed in there as well, and then I'd never have to leave. I could just stay in the room all day. Especially if I didn't have to sleep either. Just do all my stitching. Yeah. What's the next question? Let's see. How often do you play sports? I don't play sports at all. Really, I don't tend to. I don't even tend to follow much sport. I think my mum watches, you know, the Wimbledon, the tennis and that, and my dad checks the final score on Sundays, but none of us are really that into sport. And my condition means a lot of things I can't do anymore. So yeah, so I don't know if I've spoken about my condition, my sort of disease before. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, So I have hypermobile type, which is, what is it? It's one of the most common types of EDS to have, but EDS itself is quite a rare disease anyway. I think it affects 1 in 10,000, 1 in 20,000, something like that, people. So it's a genetic condition that affects the collagen in the body. So it sort of stops your body being able to use the collagen, in effect. And collagen, if you've seen the adverts, you know, for the face creams with your collagen supplements in to make your skin nice and bouncy and youthful looking, yeah, that's what collagen does. It kind of helps hold everything together, holds your skin together, you know, holds your bones together, holds your joints together. It's kind of the stuff that holds your body together, really. Well, mine just doesn't do that. So my bones break a lot, my joints dislocate a lot. You know, I've had what, 7, 8, 9 surgeries or something to try and stop my legs dislocating, my knees dislocating, and my ankles and that. So yeah, I'm currently waiting on another one to try again because they've not worked yet. But yeah, it also means my organs move around a lot because there's nothing to sort of hold them where they should be. So then sometimes they don't work. So I have to have sort of medication or sort of injections and various bits. I have internal Botox injections to try and keep some of my organs in place. I have those done every 6 months ish. Yeah, they're not that fun. So I hope you didn't hear that. There's like I front, you know, this room sort of almost overlooks a park, and there's some kids out screaming and playing. So I hope you can't hear them screaming. I promise they're not like, you know, hurt or anything. They are just playing. So yeah. But yeah, so I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So there's no cure for it. There's no treatment for it. So yeah, so as a result, I can't work. My doctor sort of won't let me work, won't sign me as fit for work, because I'm not able to. I used to work, and a couple of times I've had to go to the hospital while I've been at work, where I've stopped breathing because my lungs weren't working, or I broke my ankle once at work, just sort of walking. You know, I don't have to be doing anything. So with EDS, you don't have to have any trauma to cause an injury. So, you know, I can just be sat perfectly still, and all of a sudden my shoulder will just sort of dislocate, it just pops out of joint, because the thing that's supposed to hold it in place isn't. So yeah. So it does mean I get to sit home and stitch a lot, you know, so silver linings and all that, and watch lots of Flosstube. But yeah. So if you want to know more about, you know, EDS, I'll put its name in the description because it's got an odd spelling. And you can sort of Google it, or you can look at the Ehlers-Danlos Foundation, where they have a lot of information on there too. But yeah, it's quite rarely diagnosed as well. It's difficult to diagnose. I mean, I wasn't diagnosed until I was 25. I think it was about a month before I turned 25. Yeah, it was the 5th of December. I was diagnosed, and sort of partly because it's such a rare condition, you know, it doesn't get diagnosed, it gets sort of passed over a lot. But yeah, and I only received my diagnosis because I happened to be, you know, pottering around on Google one day, as you do, and you sort of follow one link and then you read another article and then you end up clicking a link at the bottom of that and kind of get lost somewhere in the internet and you can't really remember where you started. Yeah, it was one of those days. And sort of found an article about Ehlers-Danlos and it sounded quite like me, so I printed it off and I took it to my GP and said, you know, I think I have this. And yeah, and then he sort of sent me up to see a specialist. And there you go. And then it all went from there. So, right, I think, yeah, that's that one. That's that colour finished. Right, what are we doing? Yeah. Anyway, should we get back to our questions? So I'll just mark off what I've been doing on the Pattern Keeper. So if you don't have this app, I do, and you do full coverage designs, I do recommend it. So it, you know, I think it's something like £7 or something. Best £7 I've ever spent. So yeah. Let's go back to our questions. What's next? Ooh, what fictional place would you most like to go to? Well, I think that's a difficult one, that one. There's a lot of, you know, places I'd like to go, but I wouldn't like to be there, if that makes sense. So like, you know, the places themselves are quite dangerous. So it's like, it'd be fun to go and have a look, but not to live there. So but no, I would like to go to Hogwarts. That would be fun. I think I was of an age that the books sort of came out when I was that age. So I was one of the, you know, one of the Potter generation sort of thing. And we're not going to be talking about J.K. Rowling and her ridiculous ideas about trans people, because that's not a thing. You know, her ideas are not, you know, they're just her ideas. They're not real. They're not relevant. And they don't help anybody. So we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, I think Hogwarts would be quite a fun place to go. Even just to see the talking pictures and the moving staircases and Peeves. Ugh, that would be quite fun. And of course the magical creatures. I definitely want a pet Norbert. That would be cute. I don't think Coco would be too happy though. So, what other fictional places are there? I don't know, I'm trying to wrap my head now. I've had Hunger Games, but I don't think I'd want to go to Panem. That doesn't sound that great. So, any of these sort of dystopian novels, I don't think I'd want to visit those. Thank you. I think I'm quite happy here. Our world's got enough problems. So, where are we on next? What job would you be terrible at? Okay, that's a different question. What job would I be terrible at? I don't know. What job would I be bad at? Anything that involves too much energy, too much exercise and running around, you know. I suppose I would say I'd be bad at being a oh, my brain's not working. No, like working at a rehoming centre or something for animals, because I'd want to take them all home. But then I do foster cats for our local cat shelter, and yeah, and I have, so far I have managed to give them all back, you know, to go to their forever homes. So maybe I wouldn't be so bad at working there. What other jobs would I not be very good at? I don't know, maybe ones where I'm not supposed to ramble, you know, anything that I'm supposed to be to the point, because I tend to ramble a lot. We'll go with that. When was the last time you climbed a tree? I've never climbed a tree. If you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport, what would you have a good chance at getting a medal for? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I'd say like knitting or something, but you know, but I've seen some ladies out there knitting, and they, oh, you know, they go fast, bugger. You know, you sort of, you know, you sit and watch them, and it's like all of a sudden there's an entire jumper. You know, you blink and it's finished. I remember talking to someone the other day. I says, I bet that's where the you know, the idea for sort of witches and wizards come from, you know, because you'll sit there knitting or crocheting with a, you know, you've got your stick and some string, and then poof, all of a sudden there's a blanket. So that was the idea of a magic wand, maybe. Well, at least that's what I've decided. Where do we go next? So as you can see, I use quite a lot of sorry, creaky door as I yawned there, sorry. I use quite a lot of needle minders, is what I was saying on here. But they're all used to sort of hold my threads down and out, just so that they don't all get tangled in the way. These threads here are all pinned under another needle minder, so they're the threads for that section up there, and then I'm working here, and obviously these ones are tucked out the way, just to sort of keep an eye on, you know, where everything is, and so I don't get too tangled up. Right, what colour are we on next? Oh, I'm going to yawn again. Oh, sorry. So that's another problem of partly caused by my EDS. So I've got a problem with my vocal cords, and it basically it means that I struggle to breathe and talk at the same time. So if I'm, you know, talking about something, I can't coordinate my breathing because my vocal cords don't properly don't allow it, basically. They don't open and close as they should. It's the same reason I can't sort of walk and talk at the same time, because I get very out of breath because I'm not breathing, but I'm also walking or, you know, whatever, doing some sort of thing that would increase your breathing. Yeah. There we go again. Right, let's have a think about our next question. What is the most annoying habit that other people have? No, I don't know. Annoying habits. One thing I don't like is people that chew with their mouth open and make the kind of, you know, like that sound. Like, I just find that really annoying. Like, it sort of grates on me, you know, it's like, ugh. I can't deal with that. But I suppose another thing is, so sometimes I struggle with hearing low pitched voices, or deep voices, as well. And when someone says something and I don't hear it, you know, and I ask them to repeat themselves or something, and they'll be like, oh no, it doesn't matter. Oh, don't worry. And it's like, well, now I need to know what you said, like, even more. And they're like, no, don't worry. And I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, well, it did. Like, if it didn't matter, you wouldn't have said it. But yeah, that bugs me as well. When someone says something, then they're just like, no worries. Or they start saying something and then they just stop partway through and say, you know, don't worry about it. Yeah, I think that bugs me. I don't know if I do that as well, though. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm trying to think now. Have I ever done that to someone? Gosh, probably. So I'm just going to pause the video. There we go. I don't think you really wanted to hear me sneezing and sniffing and blowing my nose. So, right. But yeah, they're things that I find annoying in other people. So, but I don't know if I do them too. If I do, you'll have to point it out. You'll have to tell me if I do it. So, let's see what's next. Oh, what job do you think you'd be really good at? Now, I had a job I was good at. So I used to work at Hobbycraft. So it's a bit like, you know, your Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I suppose, Joann's, those sort of stores. So we sold all sorts of crafting supplies, baking things, artist things, sort of sewing, knitting, children's crafts, all sorts of things. And yeah, and I loved that job. I got to craft a lot and sort of help other people with their crafts. If someone came in and they wanted, you know, to learn something, we could teach them. And I used to offer classes for sewing machine classes and things. So yeah, I really did enjoy that job. But yeah, I suppose any job where I get to be creative, I think I'd be good at. Well, I'd like to think I'd be good at, you know, whether I would be good at the job would be another matter. But I think I'd be good at the job. So, you know, there we go. Let's have a look. Oh yes, sorry, I forgot then. I hadn't marked one of the stitches off that I had done. I hadn't marked it off that I'd done it on Pattern Keeper, so I was confused because there was a cross in the wrong place. But no, that is fine. Right, next question. Let's see. What would be the most amazing adventure to go on? I've always wanted to visit every country in the world. That was one of my goals I remember having when I was younger. Like, you know, one of my bucket list goals. I wanted to set foot in every country in the world. It's like 200 and something. And I think I've done like 10 of them or so. Not too many. But yeah, and I think that would be quite a nice adventure to go on, to travel the world and sort of visit every country and sort of you'd meet so many different people from so many different cultures and backgrounds, and you'd learn so much sort of travelling around. I think too often we can be limited to what we sort of see around ourselves. You know, what we see when we look out the window, what we see when we go to work. And I think, yeah, sometimes it's good to sort of step back and think about how other people live their lives and how they've overcome, you know, challenges and obstacles. How's their society grown differently to ours? Yeah, I think that would be quite fun. It'd also be quite fun to stitch in every country in the world. Maybe I'd have to get, you know, take one project that I could just stitch on everywhere. And that would be sort of a what do you call it? Oh, my brain's not working. You know, to remember the trip. Right. But yeah. Oh, that's a big question. Let's skip that one. What's your favourite drink? Okay. Well, my favourite sort of regular drink would be coffee, like a proper coffee, not the sort of instant stuff that you get, and especially not Maxwell House. Oh, that stuff is awful. I mean, I know some people like it. It's great, good for you. If you like it, drink it. I don't like it. I won't drink it. But yeah, proper coffee. So I get my coffee from Pact, which is a little company. I've been getting it from them for a few years now. 3, maybe 4 years or more. So they directly buy from the growers and sort of do everything more in-house, which is nice. So it means obviously the farmers get a decent price. So yeah, I think so that'd be for a soft drink. Hard drink, I have to go for a Long Island iced tea. That is one of my favourite cocktails to have. I would say if I don't really go out. I haven't been out for a long time. I say this tends to be my holiday drink because I have that when I go on holiday, but that's about it. Let's see. What state or country do you never want to go back to? I don't think I've ever been to a particularly bad country. You know, there's no, I don't think there's a place that I would never want to go to again. What songs have you completely memorised? Oof. Completely memorised, I don't know. There's quite a few songs I know from like adverts on the, you know, on things. You sort of catch, you know, a few lines or a few bars of it. Turning. I think there's a lot of songs like once I start hearing it, you know, once it starts, I can often carry on singing, but not many that I could just sort of on the spot start singing to, you know, and know all the words for. I don't think there's any songs that I could sort of do that for. I'm not really a good singer, so I don't tend to sing too much anyway. So I will spare you my my singing voice. I used to be able to sing a little bit, but when my voice box started to disintegrate, so did my singing voice. So when I thread the needle, I just squidge the thread between my thumb and forefinger so I don't lick it or anything. I just squish it and then push the needle down, in case anyone was wondering. Just I realised I did it up sort of more in my face where any of you could see. Let's see, what's next? What do you consider to be your best find? Okay. I don't know with that one. Best find. I suppose, you know, a physical object. I would say my trilobite fossil I found on the beach down in Bournemouth. Is it somewhere within reach? No, not really. Okay. But yeah, I'd probably say that as a thing that I'd found. But in terms of, you know, a best find, I'd probably have to say Flosstube is one of the best things I found. You know, in the community, the Flosstube community and the community on Facebook, sort of the stitching community. It's probably been one of the nicest things that I've found, you know, I don't know, I just find there's a lot a lot of similar folk around, so you can always relate to somebody, you know. I mean, we all relate to each other over our stitching, you know. It's a common thing between us all. But yeah, I suppose Flosstube and sort of knitting and crochet videos, you know, those sort of blogs and podcasts. But yeah. What's the next question? Are you usually early or late? I try to be early. I don't always achieve that. I try and set reminders and things because I tend to be very forgetful. Unfortunately, that's a side effect of some of my medication, so it's having problems with short-term memory. So yeah, everything has to be written down, or normally everything goes on my phone. You know, it goes in my calendar on my phone, and then my phone beeps to tell me when I'm supposed to be doing things. So but yeah, I try and be early. Depending what it is, sometimes I then get a bit nervous and think, oh, I'm too early, and then I have to sit outside and wait for other people to be around, and then I'm like, okay, it's an acceptable early time to be here now. So yeah. Let's see, what pets did I have growing up? So we kept rabbits when I was little. So we had one little rabbit that was sort of given to us by a friend. Sort of they couldn't keep it for a reason. I'm not sure what the reason was. I think I was like 6 at the time, so you know, I don't know, we just had it. And then when he passed, we got two more little rabbits. But yeah, and then it wasn't until I was older, I was sort of 15-ish, 15, 16, that we got our first cat, and I've had sort of cats ever since. I think I got my first dog when I was about 19. But yeah. Oh, and we have fish now as well. Yeah, yeah, we have a little aquarium. Well, I say little, it's actually quite big. It's about 3.5 foot long, the tank. But yeah, we have a little fish tank with some fishes in. Obviously, because that would be really weird if we had a fish tank and, like, I don't know, had a dog in there or something. That would just be weird. But yeah. Sorry, yawning again. Ugh. What's next? This one. So I'm going to try and show you how I didn't even lift it all focus. I don't know if it'll focus at all. Maybe, maybe not. Of course it won't focus. Why would it focus? It never focuses. well, you know, but basically, yeah, I just sort of squish it at the end of the thread, sort of between my finger and thumb, and then push it through the eye of the needle, just like that. Seven. So long nails come in handy to pull out the threads when they're all clumped together. See, I repainted my nails for this, so that they weren't all chipped. So yeah, these are my real nails. One of the side effects that I have from my condition is because my body can't process the collagen. It gets rid of it into the only way it knows how, which is into my hair and nails. So my hair is stretchy and my nails are bendy. So it means that my nails don't really tend to break that often. And they actually end up being quite strong because when they hit something, they just bend instead of snapping. So yeah. So, like I said, you know, silver linings. But yeah, sometimes they do get a bit long, so I think my little finger nail is getting a little bit long now, but yeah, I'll file that down soon. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't really cut them, I just file them down. I don't know if that's relevant. Always picking cat fur out of my cross stitch though. The only downside to having a cat is the fur gets up in everything. Right, what's our next little question we've got? When people come to you for help, what do they usually want help with? Normally something crafty. So a lot of the time people come to me for sewing machine help, because they now have sewing machines. I actually have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 sewing machines and an overlocker or serger machine in my house. So yeah. But yeah, it's either that, or I think my mum most often comes to me for help with like writing letters and things, like not doing the writing but doing the words. So putting things into, you know, phrasing things correctly. And my mum comes to me a lot for stuff like that. So but yeah, often it's well, like that. I remember I was helping a friend do some photography at her friend's wedding, and I remember the bride's dress, part of it snapped and there was a big hole in it down the side, so I remember getting called over to fix it on the spot with no prep and no tools or anything. It was just, oh, there's a hole in this dress, so you do sewing, you can fix it. Yeah, that was interesting. So that ended up with me basically pinning the back of her dress back to her onto her underwear with hairpins. So yes, that is how I managed to overcome that one, because the hairpins in my own hair were the only thing that I had. So yeah, so that was an adventure. There you go. That was an adventure. That was one of the other questions, wasn't it? Oh, let's see. Oh, we've got quite a bit of counting for this one. See, one thing with parking is you don't tend to have to count more than up to like 20, which isn't too bad. So, what have we got? Oh, 20, exactly. There we go. There we go. So if the next colour is much further than about 20 stitches away, I tend to sort of cut it and then restart when I get there. Not as much because I don't want the ends travelling anywhere, it's more conserving the thread. So I think, well, how much thread do I use ending and restarting? And then if it's going to work out further than that to jump, then yeah, I will end and restart. And if it's not, then I don't, I just carry. So especially on a full coverage piece like this, where you're not going to see, you know, anything that you've carried around through the fabric. So smaller designs, like designs that aren't full coverage, I do try and be a bit more sensible with my carrying. So I try not to go mad, sort of leaving zigzags everywhere, but you know, also depends on what the colour thread is and whether you're going to be able to see it through the fabric. If you're not going to be able to see it, then I'm not wasting my time ending and restarting. So yeah. Let's see, what takes up too much of your time? Stitching. I wouldn't say it takes up too much. It takes up a lot of my time, but not necessarily too much. I mean, I do have a new game on my phone though that has been taking up a lot of time, so I'm having to curb that one a little bit. So what do you wish you knew more about? What do I wish I knew more about? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, well, I've been thinking lately about learning sign language, so maybe, you know, I'd like to learn sign language, you know. Yeah, I mean, I can do a few little signs, but nothing that I would be able to have a, you know, hold a conversation with. What would be your first question after waking up from being cryogenically frozen for 100 years? What would be my first question? Ugh. Depending, you know, where am I? When is it? You know, practical things. Where's my coffee? You know, that would be up there. But what would be my first question? don't know, I've never thought about being frozen, so I wouldn't know what I'd want to. What I want to know. Who's in charge? Who's in power? You know, is it Donald Trump? Fucking hope not. But yeah, I suppose definitely it'd be very practical things. You know, what day is it? Where's my coffee? That sort of stuff. I'm a very practical person, as you can see. Let's see. What are some small things that make your day better? Good cup of coffee. Cuddle from Coco. That always makes my day better. Those when you know, an old friend sort of rings you or messages you to see how you are. That's always nice. What's your go-to band or artist when you can't decide what to listen to? I don't particularly have one band or artist. I would say like maybe it's Brantley Gilbert. But I have a Spotify playlist of just random songs that I like that I tend to just put on when I'm not sure what I want to listen to. I'll just play those, and they're from sort of all sorts of people. But no, I think Brantley Gilbert tends to be quite high up there in the list, and Tyler Farr. He's quite. A few of his are quite nice. Let's see. What's the best way to start the day? After a good night's sleep. You've got to have had a good night's sleep. Waking up to a nice breakfast. Not that I really eat breakfast, but a nice, you know, nice cup of coffee. Again, more coffee. Cuddle from Coco. She normally sleeps at the foot of the bed. Either that or sometimes sleeps on my chest, depending how annoying she wants to be. She's good at that. You know, which was all well and good when she was little. But then she grew up. And now she's a bit too heavy when she does stuff like that. What shows are you into? I quite like House and Bones, NCIS, quite good ones. I like a lot of like the archaeological and historical shows as well. So like the ones by Lucy Worsley, she's quite good. I like listening to her. Yeah, I like sort of a lot of like watching the History Channel and things. Sort of quite fun. I like a lot of like older history, so you know, like the Tudors, the Vikings, those sort of things, and then prehistory. So you know, even going back to like sort of dinosaurs and archaeological finds, sort of those sort of things. I always find that quite fun. So, yeah. So I think we're coming up to an hour now. So that is my last hour for Velosano stitching. VeloStitchers with Velosano. So there we go, 100 hours on this project. So I have been taking a photo every hour, and I'm going to pop them into a little slideshow, a bit like I did for, was it Mania? I don't know, the last time I did a project and put in like a video that was just a slideshow of it all, you know. But I thought I'd do one of those because a couple of people quite liked those. So yeah, you get to see it. Right. But yeah. So I think I'll finish off this colour though before, just while we're finishing up. There's only a few more stitches. I can't leave like a colour part done, you know, because what I'm going to do now is put this one away for a bit. So it's had 100 hours on it in the last sort of 6 weeks. It's been very monotonous, but you know, I've enjoyed doing it because it, you know, because it was for the VeloStitchers. If it was just me saying, oh, I'll do that, then I wouldn't have done it. But that sort of spurred me on to get it done. You know, I remember getting about halfway through and thinking, really? You know, whose stupid idea was this? Obviously it was my own idea, but you know. So, but yeah. Nearly done. Last cross. There we go. Just mark it off. There we go. So what have I done while you've been watching? How many stitches have I done? I've done 234 stitches. So I'm at 16.8% complete. So I'm hoping to get to 20% by the end of the year. But I'll be putting this away for a bit now. Oh, but yeah. So, well, thank you for, you know, if you stuck through all of that, thank you. Thank you for listening to me answering those random questions. I might bookmark that, and you know, if you enjoyed listening to me blather on and watching, then I'll I can always do another one and carry on with the list. There's like 200 on this list though, so you know, they keep me going for an awful long time. But if you've enjoyed it, let me know. And but yeah, I'm not going to do much editing on this, so just so I get it posted up. If I think I'm going to edit it, then it will be sat here for 3 more days until I get around to doing that. So I'm just going to put my, you know, my picture of Coco at the start and at the end, and that'll be it. But yeah, so thank you for joining me this hour. Hope you got some stitching in as well, so it'll be fun to see. And yeah. Oh, and I'll put up 2 pictures. I'll put where I started at the start of my 100 hours, and then obviously where I finished just now. So I'll pop those up now. And there we go. And don't forget, there is a giveaway on my previous video to this. So go and check that one out, and that will be drawn sort of towards the end of this week when I do my next video. So it'll probably be done on Friday, but I can't promise it. So you know, it might be Thursday, it might be Saturday, but it's somewhere around there. I will do my next video, and I'll put on there when I've drawn it as well. So yes, so thank you for joining me, and love you lots. Can I get Coco down? Is Coco going to come off her scratching post? Just come and join us and say hello. Is she? Come on, come on, come on. Be constructive. There we go. So, oh, there he is. But yes, did we wake you up? She's nice and warm. So yeah. So thank you for joining us. Love you lots. Bye bye.